Hello and welcome to Race for the White House, a daily show where we get you the latest from the 2024 US presidential election. Today's show, we tell you how former US President Donald Trump briefly manned the fry station at a McDonald's, bringing the fast food chain into the political debate. However, social media users allege that the entire political gig was staged. On the other side of the show, we tell you how Elon Musk's election promise of $1 million daily has sparked a call for a probe. All of this and much more, so let's get started. Just when you thought the US presidential campaign couldn't get any more unusual, Donald Trump is back with a sizzling move. With just 15 days until election day, the former president was spotted behind the counter at a McDonald's, manning the fryer station and flipping burgers in a surprising stop on his campaign trail. However, netizens claim that the fast food gig was nothing more than staged political theatre. The fast food photo op was clearly designed to bolster Trump's image as a man of the people, as a president who connects with everyday Americans. His team hailed the visit as a light-hearted stop to meet with supporters and show that he hasn't forgotten his blue-collar base. It's the latest in a series of unconventional campaign stops as the election day approaches. But this time, the stunt has ignited more controversy than applause. Now, soon after the former president finished up his McDonald's gig on Sunday, several social media users alleged that the campaign stop was fake and staged. They backed up their claims with an image of a circular stating that the branch was closed on October 20th. The circular said that the McDonald's outlet was closed on Sunday to accommodate a visit at the request of Donald Trump. Some others posted images from the scene, claiming that some cars and drivers were rehearsing ahead of Trump's visit. Within hours, #StageTrump started trending on X, formerly known as Twitter, as users dissected every detail of the visit. One user pointed out how perfect the setup seemed, with photographers ready, the McDonald's staff seemingly prepped, and even the fryers impeccably clean. Memes quickly followed, accusing Trump of using everyday spaces and people as props in his bid to win re-election. Political analysts have been quick to comment on the McDonald's visit, debating whether it's a clever last-ditch effort to connect with undecided voters or a sign that Trump's campaign is more focused on theatrics than substance. However, for Trump, attention is currency, and in the final days of the campaign, moments like this could be a calculated attempt to outshine his opponent in the media. After all, Trump's unconventional campaign strategies have been successful before, and this fast food stop could be part of his final push to rally his base. But this campaign stunt has also placed McDonald's in an unusual position. The fast food chain, which traditionally steers clear of political involvement, suddenly finds itself at the center of a heated election debate. You might remember that Democratic presidential contender Kamala Harris also claimed that she worked at McDonald's as a teenager. However, no public record exists to back up her claim. Now, with just over 2 weeks to go until election day, the big question is whether this fast food stunt will resonate with swing voters, or whether this will backfire as a staged move. Trump has made headlines in the past for breaking political norms, but with the election race tightening, he needs more than a few viral moments to win over the undecided. As Trump's team doubles down on his everyman image, Democratic opponents are betting that voters are more concerned with policies and publicity stunts. The battle for the White House is heating up, and every move, whether at a campaign rally or a fast food restaurant, could be a game changer. What happens when the world's richest man promises to hand out $1 million every day before election day? Well, Elon Musk's $1 million daily giveaway is setting the political stage on fire. The tech billionaire is now facing calls for a federal investigation after Democrats accused him of trying to buy influence in key battleground states. Now, Musk had announced that he's giving away $1 million each day until election day, specifically targeting voters in key swing states. That might sound a bit generous.
So I have a surprise for you, which is that we're going to be awarding $1 million to randomly to people who have signed the petition every day from now until the election.
But here's the catch. Critics are accusing Musk of using his vast fortune to sway the election in these critical states. And now calls for an investigation are growing louder. The giveaway is raising questions and alarms among election experts, who say it is a violation of the law to link cash handouts to the polls. For instance, the Democratic governor of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro, expressed that Musk could face legal scrutiny over his giveaways, intended to get people to register to vote. Democrats say that this isn't philanthropy. This is election interference disguised as charity. However, Musk says that he's simply encouraging people to participate in the democratic process by sweetening the deal. His fans, of course, are cheering him on, seeing it as another bold move from the man who's taken on space travel, electric cars, and now democracy. But critics say there's nothing innocent about handing out cash to voters in swing states just weeks before election day. So is this just Musk being Musk, or is there a bigger issue here? Political experts say that the timing is definitely suspect. The fact that the giveaways are happening in key battleground states that will decide the election has raised eyebrows. And it's also got the Democrats sounding the alarm. But could Musk's big money handouts actually really sway the election? Political analysts warn that even if Musk's intentions are innocent, giving away millions of dollars right before an election could be seen as influencing the vote, especially if it pushes turnout in certain areas over others. Whether it's a fun way to get voters excited or a thinly veiled attempt to sway an election, one thing's for sure: Elon Musk is once again at the center of a political storm. And with just days left until election day, the drama is only heating up. One thing is certain: Elon Musk knows how to keep the spotlight on him, whether he's launching rockets, building electric cars, or shaking up elections. With the presidential polls just around the corner, our White House correspondent Rohit Sharma had the opportunity to speak with Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal. Jayapal is a leading voice for progressive policies within the Democratic Party and also a champion for immigration rights. As the first South Asian woman elected to the United States Congress, she has been instrumental in advocating for healthcare, social justice, and economic equity. Listen in to this exclusive interview.
But we're joined by Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal at this very special event for Vice President Kamala Harris. We're only 14 days away from the election, and it's so nice to speak to you, Congresswoman. First things first, tell us about this event. Why are you here in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, well, this is an event that's being put on by Indian American Impact. And as you can see, they ceased aside. This is about the fact that Indian Americans in Pennsylvania and in other states, swing states, are the margin of victory. So in Pennsylvania in 2020, Joe Biden won by about 100,000 votes. There are 150,000 Indian Americans in Pennsylvania who are voters. If we can turn every one of those voters out, we can make sure we win Pennsylvania. And if we win Pennsylvania, we win the country, and Kamala Harris becomes the next president of the United States. So that's what this amazing event is about. And I'm here because I've logged about 20,000 miles campaigning for Vice President Harris because I believe the threat is so deep and the opportunity is so great. And I want to make sure she becomes our next president.
Now, everybody knows that it's about the independent voters right here in Pennsylvania. What would you tell those independent voters? Why should they vote for Kamala Harris?
Well, the interesting thing is it is about independent voters, but it's also about juicing our base, as we say. So if we know that Indian Americans turn out 80-90% for Democrats up and down the ballot. If we can get Indian Americans to turn out and vote, if every Indian American voter in Pennsylvania voted, that would put us over the margin of victory. So I would say to independents, just as I would say to our base, this is a crucial election. We have a man who wants to be dictator on day one, who has said that. He has a plan that includes what he did in his first term, denaturalizing people who have already become U.S. citizens. This is a man who instituted the Muslim ban. This is a man who wants to give tax cuts to the wealthiest and take it from the middle class. This is a man who doesn't care about small businesses. He cares about those big corporations versus a woman who is incredibly qualified and who wants to help small businesses succeed, who wants to give tax cuts to middle-class Americans, who respects immigrants because her mother and father were also immigrants to this country, and who wants to move our country forward together. We do not want to go back. She wants to protect reproductive freedom for everyone, and Indian Americans have a very large percentage of our women of reproductive age who live in states where abortion and reproductive freedom has been severely limited or banned. So this is a moment for everyone to come out, do what they can in the next 16 days, get Kamala Harris elected.
Immigration, you've talked about, a big issue. We spoke to Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, and she said on the record, and her question was, what has Kamala Harris and Biden done for immigrants? How do you respond to that?
Oh my gosh. Let me ask you why it is that Republicans continue to block comprehensive immigration reform. Going all the way back, not even going back 10 years, 2013, the U.S. Senate passed comprehensive reform with 68 bipartisan votes. The Speaker of the House was a Republican named John Boehner. And when it came to the House of Representatives, John Boehner refused to bring it to the floor for a vote because he knew it would pass. And Republicans have delighted in making immigrants their demon. demonizing xenophobia, racist language. And just recently, there was a bipartisan border bill, which I have some quabbles with, but a bipartisan border bill drafted by the third most conservative U.S. Senator in the United States Senate, a Republican. And they had agreement to pass it, but who told them not to? Donald Trump. And Donald Trump even said, I don't want to solve this problem. I want to keep immigration out there as an issue. So it is the Republicans who have blocked us, and we can only solve this if we actually have a Democratic president and a Democratic Senate and a Democratic House, and we solve it together. That is what has to happen. And it's an issue I've worked on for 20 years, so I'm very passionate about it. And I believe that Donald Trump is such a threat because he blames, demonizes immigrants at every turn instead of recognizing that we need to actually modernize an immigration system that is 30 years outdated.
One last question, Congressman. A lot of Indian American people and voters I've spoken to are aligning themselves with Donald Trump because they say, he sees India as this power. They think he has great relationship with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. What would you tell those voters?
Well, what I would say is, again, to remember that Donald Trump has blocked immigration of all kinds. And under Donald Trump, we will not fix the H-1B visa program. We will not allow families to be reunited. We will not allow the Indian American dreamers who are here to be able to get legal status. And in 2021, as I said, this is very important for people to hear. In 2021, Donald Trump set up a unit within the Department of Justice to denaturalize current U.S. citizens. That affects everyone. And I think we have to be very clear-eyed about the fact that this is not a man who respects Indians or Indian Americans. He may speak big things, but let's look at what he's done and what his policy platforms have been, and they have not benefited Indian Americans.
Does that mean he can denaturalize every U.S. citizen?
It does. That's what he set up, is the ability. There was a unit within the Department of Justice set up in 2021. This was a big plan of Stephen Miller, who is also still with Donald Trump, to denaturalize U.S. citizens. That means going into every person's file and finding something within that file and establishing new grounds for what it takes to denaturalize citizens. It is a terrifying thing, and I'm trying to make sure everybody understands. That's what you get with Donald Trump. With Kamala Harris, you will get somebody who actually respects and welcomes the contributions of Indians and Indian Americans.
Congressman, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you.
So this is interesting. We will talk about denaturalization a lot, and that's a topic that probably will be talked about a lot as we go closer to the election. Thank you so much, Congressman, and keep watching India Today.
And now it's time to talk numbers. With just a few weeks remaining for the US presidential election, the race for the White House remains intense. Vice President Kamala Harris retains her narrow lead nationally, but it remains a neck-to-neck battle in key swing states. So let's take a look at how the presidential contenders are doing in the polls today. According to the New York Times Siena poll, Harris is leading the national polls with a 49% public support rating, while Trump is trailing at 48%. In the swing states of North Carolina and Wisconsin, Harris has a 49-48 advantage over Trump. In the states of Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Nevada, both Harris and Trump are locked in at 48% of public support. And in the states of Georgia and Arizona, Trump has taken a lead, 49% of public support, with Harris at 48%. With just a few days remaining for the election, it seems like the key swing states are swinging from left to right every single day. And now it's time for some quick updates with the political landscape in America that you might have missed. Weeks after Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s sexting scandal with political reporter Olivia Nuzzi made headlines, his wife, Shirl Hines, is opening up about how the controversy impacted their marriage. Hines reflected on the strength of the relationship between them and how they've managed to stay grounded despite the ongoing drama. Rumors of a breakup swirled after she was spotted without her wedding ring. Hines revealed that she is writing a book about the rumors she and her husband have faced amid the alleged scandal. Moving on, Donald Trump attended a primetime NFL game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New York Jets on Sunday. Trump arrived around midway through the first quarter and was greeted by a small crowd of supporters wearing Pittsburgh jerseys with the banner that read, "Trump Nation." The former president's visit capped a dizzying weekend in the pivotal state of Pennsylvania, with the election just 2 weeks away. And finally, the Biden administration is shelling out billions of dollars for clean energy and improving major offshore wind projects. This comes as officials race to secure major climate initiatives before President Joe Biden's term comes to an end. Biden wants to establish a legacy of climate action. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has pledged to rescind unspent funds in Biden's landmark climate and healthcare bill, and to also stop offshore wind development if he returns to the White House. That's all we have for you in this edition of Race to the White House. We'll see you again tomorrow, only on India Today Global.